Welcome to English. Let's check you've got everything you need for today. A sharp pencil, your English book and a ruler, please. We have now finished writing our short story yesterday. So today we're going to be moving on and we're going to be thinking about planning a new short story, very similar to the one we've just written. Let's write the date and LO to get started. Pause the video and do that now. Okay, so today we're going to be describing a character for our new stories. Let's come back to that just in a moment though. So this week and next week you will be planning and writing about another group of animals that encounter an unexpected visitor or predator. I just wanted to talk about the purpose of our writing. So we're writing a story, so it's going to be to entertain. So the person who's listening to our writing, we want to entertain them. The outcome is going to be a leadership story, not a leadership story, we want a leadership story. And the audience, I'd like you to choose. I'd like your audience to be certainly me, because I'd love to see these stories on Dojo, but also they can be someone of your choice. It might be mum and dad at home, it might be an auntie or an uncle or a grandma or granddad. So I'll leave that to you to make a choice as to who you'd like to write to this time. So let's think about our characters then. I'd like to talk about something called collective nouns. Now, we haven't learned about this yet in year 3, but I wonder if you've heard it before, heard the words before, collective nouns. Well, collective nouns is a word to describe a group of animals or a group of something, but in this case, it's going to be a group of animals. For example, a flock of birds. The word flock is the collective noun because it's telling us that a group of birds is called a flock. A herd of deer. An army of frogs. A knot of toads. If you were to look up collective nouns on the internet for animals, they're really quite interesting, the sorts of words that you'd see. So here's just a few examples. Now what we need to do is we need to choose a group of animals to be our main characters in our animation or in our story. We've got to choose them really, really carefully, okay? We know that in our stories, we want to have a group of animals where a predator comes. And something happens where the predator tries to get or tries to eat or something, puts one of the group of animals in danger. And in our plot, the leader of this group of animals is going to help save the day, and they're going to do that with teamwork. So you've got to be really careful about choosing our group of animals. For example, we wouldn't really want to choose a group of lions to be the main characters because lions have very few predators. So it would be a lot easier for you if you chose a group of animals that maybe have quite a few predators that you could then choose from to develop your story further. So there are a few ideas. Here are a few more ideas. You might have your own one that you'd like to choose, or you might like to choose one of these. So an army of caterpillars might be one you choose. A shoal of clownfish. A flock of chickens. Or a colony of rabbits. So you might want to pause the video now and just have a little think about what you might like to choose that fits in with the sort of story we're going to be writing about. So pause the video to have a little think. Alternatively, if you're struggling to decide on something, Or if you think, oh, I think I'm going to really find it hard to think of a plot to help me with this story, you could choose the crabs from the animation. So that could be an option as well. Shall I show you that? I'll show you that little animation with the crabs in. I think that might help you decide on your group of animals. Let's show that to you now. So this is the sort of thing, this is the sort of story you're going to be generating yourself. Alternatively, you might choose this one to write about if you were very stuck. Here we go. So in that scenario, we had the crabs as our main characters, perhaps a colony of crabs or something. And then our predator was the seagull on that occasion. We just come back to our slides here. So before you move any further through the video, I'd like you to have an idea of what you'd like to choose for your story. Think about what the collective noun might be, and what your group of animals is going to be. Is it caterpillars? Is it going to be deer? Is it going to be frogs? So before you go any further, make sure you're very, you've got your idea ready. Okay, so you should have your idea now. What I'd like you to do now is, in our stories, we need to have a predator. So you might know off the top of your head a few predators of the animal that you've chosen, which you could choose from. Or you might need to just do a quick search into Google to find out whether what the predators are of the animal you've chosen. So you'll need to, again, just pause the video to check you either know a predator that you can use or research one so you've got it ready. So do that now. Okay, so you should have your group of animals that you've chosen and the predator that's going to appear in your story. So what I'd like you to do in your book, you've obviously got the date and LO written at the top of your page, or it might be halfway down your page if you haven't started a new page. But what I'd like you to do is actually draw yourself 2 boxes using your ruler and your pencil. I would recommend drawing a line going across the middle of your page, and then another line underneath your date and LO, and then a third line going down the middle, joining the 2. So then you should have 2 blank boxes on your page. I'd like you to do that now. So pause the video and draw your 3 lines with your ruler. Amazing, well done. So now we are going to spend a bit of time drawing your group of animals here, or perhaps one animal from your group would be fine, and drawing your predator here. So you've got 2 pictures to do in those boxes. And then underneath, I'd like you to write the main characters are, and the predator will be, So pause the video and spend some time doing that now. You may colour in if you're running to time. If perhaps you're a little bit behind time this morning, I suggest maybe colouring in at the end if you have time then. Okay, so pause the video. Okay, well done. Now, so what you should have now is your 2 drawings and your 2 little sentences underneath. We're now going to think about describing these characters, because that's what our learning objective is today. I'd like you to think about what is a noun phrase. We talked about them last week. So have a think now. What is a noun phrase? You should have got that. A noun phrase is a few words with an adjective which describes a noun. So I'd like you to actually label your characters that you've drawn with noun phrases. Now on mine, I've chosen a clownfish and an eel. I looked online and I researched what predators clownfish had. They had a few, the main one being a shark, but I also noticed an eel was one of their predators, and I thought I'm gonna choose something different today. So I drew my eel, and I've labelled them. Look, so I've chosen to label, I would say maybe 3 or 4 labels for yours, really. So you want your adjective and then your noun. So let's just highlight that to be really clear. BD, I. The BD is the adjective, that's describing, the describing word, and then the I is the noun. Delicate fins. Okay. And then we've got striped scales. Try to be as specific as possible, okay, with your descriptions, especially now we're in year 3. And then for my predator, I was thinking this is quite an evil character, really. And I wanted to choose specific adjectives for this character that represented that he was a predator in our story. So I probably wouldn't have used delicate fins to describe my eel, because the word delicate means quite gentle, doesn't it? Easily broken. So I've chosen to use strong jaw. And I've chosen to use mighty tail. So with your drawings, I'd like you to use your ruler and do 3 or 4 labels for each of your pictures using noun phrases. Pause the video and do that now. Well done. Okay, the final thing we're going to do today is we're going to write a paragraph to describe our characters. So I've written one to show you what an example would be like. Okay, so I've chosen to write about the clownfish with mine. I've made sure that I include some of the noun phrases that I chose for my labelling into my paragraph, and I've had a go at a challenge. And I've had to go at using prepositions, which we've also been learning about, haven't we? So prepositions tell us where something is. And I've given you a little word bank here to help you. There might be other prepositions you know about that you could use, but I've got some there to give you a hand. So let's read through. See if you can listen out for the noun phrases and the prepositions I've used. Okay, here we go. The clownfish live in a group called a shoal amongst the coral. They are shy creatures but feel safe in the group. They have beady eyes, which means they can be alert, and a delicate fin on top of their body to help them glide quickly around the water. Okay, pause the video, just check that you have spotted or heard of those noun phrases and prepositions. See if you can find them with your finger now on the screen. Yeah, so my noun phrases, let's have a look. Clownfish lived in a group called a shoal amongst the coral. They are shy creatures, that's actually one there, shy creatures, but feel safe in the group. They have beady eyes, which means they can be alert, and a delicate fin on top of their body to help them glide quickly around the water. And then if we have a look for the prepositions, you should have found them before me. The clownfish live in could be one, couldn't it? In a group called a shoal amongst, that's telling us in between, amongst the coral. They are shy creatures but feel safe in the group. They have beady eyes, which means they can be alert, and a delicate fin on top of their body. That tells us where that fin is. Okay, so those are the features that I made sure were in my paragraph. What I'd like you to do now then is write a paragraph for one. I would probably choose, you can choose actually, you can choose between your 2 characters, a paragraph describing one of those characters using your noun phrases and using your prepositions. Okay, when you've written it, make sure that you read it through, reread to check it and correct for any mistakes. And if you're not sure on a spelling, don't go straight to someone at home. If you have one, use a dictionary, because we've learned how to use them in school, haven't we? So make sure you use a dictionary if you're not sure on a spelling first. All right? Fab. I can't wait to read some of these. Well done for your pictures and your labelling so far. So now I'm going to say goodbye, and I'd like you to make sure that you write your paragraph. I will leave mine on the board for a moment longer, on the screen for a moment longer, so that you've got one just to have a quick look at if you're not sure how to get started. Okay, your paragraph doesn't need to be exactly accurate in terms of facts. Yeah. A group of clownfish might be named something different than a shoal. I haven't researched every single fact, but it's a story, so it doesn't need to be exactly factually correct. Okay, fab. I look forward to reading some of these. Goodbye for now.